I can understand kids going hungry, but is that really the problem of the school district? Is that the problem of the state of North Dakota?
Check out this headline right here. North Dakota senators vote to boost their own meal reimbursements after rejecting free school lunch bill. Can't make this up. This must be repeated. Underline, underscore, bold, exclamation point, message in a bottle. We need some righteous indignation over starving babies. Now that righteous indignation of babies being gunned down in schools and adults, and righteous indignation over elected officials who got the pure unadulterated gall to sit up here and withhold tax dollars. It's not even their money. I bet you if they polled adults, and the question was that there are already polls out there. We did stories, countless stories about this, where parents are saying, feed the children, feed the babies. And most taxpayers would say, feed the babies. And it doesn't matter what zip code they're from and how much their parents make or do not make. This is immoral, it is criminal as hell. And I bet you need some church going folks too on top of it. What would Jesus do? We just remembered the resurrection, those of us who are Christians. Hello, somebody? He be turning over tables up in that mug. That's what he would be doing. Casting these folks out, get away from me. Because they damn hypocrites. Now, if y'all need something to get up in arms about and to be mad about, this is something to be mad about. And not sitting back being cool, calm, and collected. And this fool stands up here and talks about withholding food from babies, but then they got the pure unadulterated gall to boost their own money for their food. 13 Republican senators voted to increase meal reimbursements for state employees after voting against a bill to expand free school lunches for low-income students. They fools and they are moral. And North Dakota, what does that say about you? Because you voted these fools in. Now you can correct this on the next election cycle, but y'all need to be down there in that legislature raising all kinds of hell. And I mean that. 10 days after narrowly defeating a bill to provide free school lunches to low-income K-12 students, the North Dakota Senate approved legislation to increase the amount of money lawmakers and other state employees receive in meal reimbursements. This is America. The Republican-dominated Senate in late March rejected House Bill 194 by a single vote, would have dedicated $6 million over the next 2 school years to cover lunch costs for K-12 students with family incomes below double the federal poverty level. Children from families of 4 making less than $60,000 a year would have qualified. And the irony and the foolery is lost on these North Dakota Republicans. A leading Republican senator says employee meal compensation rates and free lunch programs aren't related issues, but top Democrats see the chamber's conflicting actions on the 2 bills as unjustifiable. Are you kidding me? And here is Senate Minority Leader Kathy Hogan, and this is what the Minority Leader said. I thought today's vote was very self-serving. How can we vote for ourselves when we can't vote for our children? Hello, somebody. Now, a federal program already provides free meals to students from families making below 130% of the federal poverty level. So the state allocation nixed by senators would have applied to kids with family incomes between 130 and 200% of the poverty level. And if Governor Bergen signs the bill, which he probably is gonna sign it 9 times out of 10, state employees could collect up to $45 a day to pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a hike of nearly 29% of the current reimbursement rate of $35. The added cost to the state would be nearly $1 million over the next 2-year budget cycle. As I said, the governor is Republican, and there is a strong likelihood that he is going to sign this bill. Jackson.
Well, another thing too is it's like there's like 7 people in all of North Dakota, so it's not like this is like an incredibly expensive thing to feed the kids there. And this is like literally like the easiest issue imaginable. we're not talking about dealing with adults who have maybe drug abuse issues, because then at least there's an argument to like, well, they grew up and they have the opportunities to make these decisions. At least you have that there. But with children, like none of that exists there. These are people who didn't, none of us chose to be here, but at least we didn't have some time to make something out of it. But it's not the case for them. So again, it's just, you can't argue with these people. You can only defeat them. Because there is no argument to be had. It's like they want to live in a world where it's like we just fight for everything. But then
they need to be defeated, Jackson. They do.
Yeah,
this is a reflection on North Dakota, though. It's a reflection on the voters that put these people in the places. That's what this is. And you know what? I just want to ask, what kind of new dimension of hell have we entered? What level of hell are we in right now? Now, there are some states that do have universal meal programs. Let's put them up. That's California, Colorado, Minnesota, Maine, New Mexico. And then we have some states that are providing universal meals for just this school year. And I hope that they expand that. And that's Connecticut, Massachusetts, Nevada, Vermont. And Colorado had a voter approved measure that takes effect next school year. So Jackson, obviously there are models out there of states that are doing the right thing by their children, but North Dakota is not one of them. And neither is my state of Ohio either so far. We're fighting to get that in the budget right now for the state of Ohio. They playing games here too, the Republicans, but go right ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I can't really think of any regular everyday person who would really be against kids having access to school lunches or breakfast or anything like that. Like that's just not really something that regular people would be against, because it's normal. It's something that so many people grew up with and are used to. And again, it just makes sense. Like it's not, and how many penny pinching Republicans exist out there? Like this isn't something that, I'm a Republican and I just don't want kids to have food. Like this is
this is not a partisan issue. This is about kids having food. Yeah. So North Dakota, we got our eye on you. Ohio, we got our eye on you. And the rest of the states, all 50 states need to provide universal meals. That's breakfast and lunch for these babies, regardless of their parents' means. That is what a civilized society would do. We are all up in a new dimension, a whole new level of hell.